And hello, everybody. Welcome to GI Joburg, episode 280. And we are not being joined by Steve. Instead, it will be myself and Rob. How are you, Rob?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you? Yeah, how are you?
So good, dude. So good. It's been like I think it's been like a day now or 2 days now where I've actually been on leave.
Ooh.
So it's been great not to like freak out and worry about work and worry about stuff being done, and just be able to relax where we can, of course, because we still have the specter of load shedding looming over us,
Oh
which
hell
is
yeah. No,
so
that
much fun.
has I wouldn't say ruined, but yeah, it definitely has ruined Christmas so far. It's
Yeah,
it's
it's
really
a
no
real
fun
bummer. It's a real bummer.
at all.
And oh god, and it's just anyway, it's the gift that doesn't give. um but aside from that, man, like, it was pretty cool. We did our Christmas end of year Christmas lunch functions for the places that I do work for, my
Oh,
two of
yummy.
my big clients, which is rad. Yeah, the one place we got fed at, we ate really well at this one really fancy restaurant that they took us to, and then the
Oh.
other one, I shared it with you guys in our WhatsApp group. We got to see a premiere of the first episode that's now been finally comped and everything for the one show I'm working on. Obviously, and sadly, I can't mention the name of the show online anywhere public. So I'm sorry, guys. You're just gonna have to wait and until I can. But that was pretty rad. And yourself, Rob, what have you been getting up to? How's things been in Rob's world?
Well, Roswell's been pretty good. I mean, pretty decent, I think. So for the last week, Stephen and his family have been away in Hermanus. That's actually why he's
Thank
not
you.
joining us today. He, yeah, the entire family, his brother, his sister, their kids, their respective others, Kim, his, Elliot, and the
The whole
grandparents, the
fam
parents,
family.
everybody. So I've
Yeah.
been staying in the old homestead for the past week, kind of like holding the fort. Um, which is usually fine during the day, but like when it comes to like nighttime, I don't know. I get very anxious on my own.
Really? I should.
I don't know
Yeah,
why.
it's
Like,
kind of a biggish house. So
it is a proper big house.
yeah,
But it's weird because like even if there was just one other person here, like I'd feel totally fine. But like,
yeah.
because obviously like one other person is really going to make much of a difference. If something goes down or whatever. Um, but it just feels, yeah, I feel uncomfortable on my own here, and I was like, okay, I thought I'd be fine, but apparently I'm not.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is actually what it's like to be a South African.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's just, but eventually you get used to the noises. And I kind of have like routines that I kind of went into where I was like, we're gonna make this place look busier than it is. So I properly home aloned it.
Like, did you have silhouettes and stuff in the windows
Oh,
moving
yeah,
back
I
and
switched on
forth?
different lights, and like and then the lounge, the lights would switch off, and as they kind of wind down, and then the parents' bedroom, you kind of switch the lights down. Oh, and then the power goes out at 10, so then you have to switch on, like a little lamp or something because someone needs to go to the toilet, and like I really went over the top. Like, I mean, yeah, I did not do silhouettes, and I did not set up traps. But definitely, yeah, I was probably more paranoid than I should have been, because it's just a house, a house amongst many houses. um
Yeah.
and yeah, it
Yeah,
is
and
what
I
it
mean,
is.
and to be fair, Rob, I mean, you're not really alone. I mean, I'm sure a huge portion of Joburg is currently in Cape Town. So it's not like you have anything to worry about.
Exactly, I mean, we're completely surrounded, and
Yes.
yeah, otherwise it was a cool week. I kind of just watched lots of YouTube. I filmed a couple of little things, which I
Oh,
will hopefully
cool.
edit in the next couple of weeks and get those out. I was just
Nice.
having fun. um like me and Steven had fun in our most recent video. His
Yes,
vlogs, I
which
think
I'm very annoyed
25.
about. I want to have it here on record. I'm super annoyed about that, but carry on.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think so. This was originally an idea that we wanted to do when all three of us were down here, just kind of like
Exactly.
film us playing, and that's essentially what we did in the video vlog. I think it's 25 vlogs 25
Yeah.
on the YouTube channel. But then one night Steven was just like, okay, let's just do it now. Like, we're both here. Let's just try and do a little bit of something. And it felt like it was literally just how we would play. And
Yeah.
it was a really fun experience. And then he was like, should I put this, give this to the public? And I was like, yeah, dude, for sure. Show everyone how much fun we had as kids and how much fun we can still have with our toys, without Paul.
Exactly. That's exactly what it felt like. Let's see how much fun we can have with that, Paul. Yeah, but to be fair, I mean, we were quite super busy. I mean, when I
Yeah, we were
was
super
down.
busy, and like in the middle of the week as well, my grandmother, came down with a bit of illness, and that did steal time away from us. Thankfully, she's fine now. But yeah, so we didn't get as much done as we would have liked to have while we were all here chilling together.
Chilling together. And like something that I'm like also just on the topic of being annoyed. Sorry, but they had an IMAX screening of Top Gun Maverick.
Ooh.
And yeah, and I really wanted to catch it. And just with all of the sort of, we had Rage, that whole big convention thing. Okay, cool. And then in the week after that, it's just been a bit of work stuffies. And then just with the last like few days, it's just been a bit, crazy, just the Christmas, functions and getting stuff done, and also Celia winding down for the year. I really wanted to go and watch it. And of course, the first day where I'm like, okay, cool, I can go and do this, it's already off. And I'm like, how are they expecting to make money? They didn't even have it on for like, it didn't even feel like it was on for a week. Never mind. Like, and I thought they would have it at least for the month. And that's really, really, really annoying. So I still haven't watched damn Top Gun Maverick, because my intention was to go and watch it pretty much the day after we shot that awesome episode with Buttface69, which was 279. And yeah, so I'm still annoyed with that. But the cool thing is, at least I'm on leave, and it's Christmas time.
Hell yeah.
So this is a comment that comes to us, or not a comment, but it's kind of like a quick fire topic. And I'm going to put this out to you, members of the Berg Force, in the chat, and also to everybody listening, so that we can have your comments in the episode. What are you hoping Santa is going to bring you, or what are you hoping to find under your tree this Christmas? And I'm just going to let the Berg Force do its things in the comments there, and then point the question at you, Rob. What are you hoping to find under your tree this Christmas? And it doesn't have to be GI Joe, dude. It doesn't have to be.
It could be anything.
It could be anything. Landmine.
Nah, I don't want a landmine. That sounds a little too dangerous. Well, it is something that I've been wanting to get for a while. I mean, I'll probably end up buying for myself, but I mean, it's it's better than nothing. So Larry Harmer worked on a miniseries called Wolverine Patch. This last year now. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I did put aside all 5 issues, and I haven't bought them yet. So I'm hoping that I will remember to buy that for myself before next weekend.
Okay, so you can have something cool to read for Christmas.
Hell yeah! Otherwise, I mean, like being a dude almost in my 40s, my family will probably end up giving me some nice chocolates and some other nice kind of like random stuff. I think it's usually like kids who get toys, but I mean, then again, I mean, we are adult. We are kids. We hopefully will still get toys of some sort.
Yes,
so I'm hoping Wolverine Patch.
Wolverine Patch, that sounds cool. Yeah. And just checking here is Buttface69 is very happy to see.
Hell yeah!
He's happy to see you there. Also, just not so much on the Christmas thing, but Darren Cobb just responding. Oh, but Rob, there is another person there. Winky face. Winky wink.
No, there isn't. It's just me. Don't. Well, although funny enough that you say that, the one night I was sitting in the lounge, and suddenly I hear the sound. Music. No, I hear the sound in the roof, and I'm like, "What the heck is that?" It's like this very quick running sound. But I realized, okay, it's not. It's like a rat, or it's a squirrel or something, but suddenly there's like across the roof, like the interior of the roof, and I'm like, oh my god.
Oh, that can be creepy.
They're coming to eat my feet.
Yeah, them feet eating squirrels. Matthew Comstock in the comments. He just said an investment with a 10% annual return. Yeah, why
Under
not?
the Christmas tree.
That
Wow.
would be great under the Christmas tree. Yeah. How do we get one of those, Matt? How do we get one of those? Like maybe we should get him on an episode and he can help us figure that out. That would actually not be a bad idea.
Financial advice to help us
afford
buy
this
more
habit
toys.
of ours. Yeah, yeah. And yeah. And Budface69 is like ninjas. He hopes to see ninjas under his Christmas tree. Yeah, dude.
That's probably a good idea. Either that or he's referring to the ninjas in my roof. I hope you prefer to have ninjas under the Christmas tree.
Matt's give me $1,000 and I'll show you.
Oh wow, okay. That sounds like a good deal.
Sounds like a good deal. Yeah. This is great.
Whenever I hear unexplained noises, I assume ninjas because it's more whimsical than crackheads. Yeah.
Okay, well, good. I'm actually hoping for ninjas under my Christmas tree.
Under your Christmas tree. Okay.
Under my Christmas tree, or by the Christmas tree, that would be cool. No, it's just when I was in Cape Town, and we went to Heinz store to Back in Time toys, and I got myself that smoke. I didn't realize that he actually also had a Sub-Zero.
Ah.
Yeah, and I was going to treat myself with it. And also, I've just been busy. I haven't had a chance to like sit down and do internet buying stuff. So, yeah, and I was looking at that tasty Sub-Zero, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna grab one. I'm gonna do the purchase now. I've just got to sort out this thing and that thing, and quickly. And because I wasn't at home, that's the thing. That's like if I'm at home, it's like easy. But I wasn't at home. I was like running around, making sure I'm on time for this thing and whatever, as one does. Oh, and it was also my dad's birthday.
Well, happy birthday.
Sure.
To your opa.
And so we actually took him out for dinner, and I can't believe it. He's 80 years old. I keep forgetting how old he is. Keep thinking my dad's like 71 or something, but he's 80 now. And so we went for that. So I get home, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go and finally pull the trigger on this toy now, and it's gone.
No.
No, I know. It's annoying. It's sad. But yeah. So no Sub-Zero, GI Joe Sub-Zero for Paul anymore. I'm just going to have to settle with the GI Joe version of Sonya Blade from Mortal Kombat.
Well, I mean, if I remember correctly, she looked like a pretty decent figure. I mean, she was one of the ones you pulled out of that big crate.
Yeah. No, she is a very, very cool, very, very cool looking figure. So, and I got a cool idea for her for a story. And it's cool how this has kind of worked its way around, because that ninja version of Smoke, or that GI Joe version of Smoke, has given me a cool idea for a story, for a I want to say play motion story, but I think I'm just working out how to do it properly. But I want to do it as one of our like shorts, because I'm really enjoying the our shorts on GI Joburg, and I've got some cool stuff lined up.
Like the shorts feel very like you can just put it out whenever, and if people see it, they'll see it. It's like 10, I don't know, up to a minute, 2 minutes long. I don't even know what length you're supposed to make these things. I don't think there is a supposed to length. But yeah, it's quite fun. I especially enjoyed Elliot stomping around on the flag.
On the flag. Yeah, people freaked out. Yeah, it's funny. But yeah, I wanna find a way to make it cool, and then also cool for the Berg Force as well. Like try to do like, I don't know. I don't want to think about it too hard, because I would like to start it. I'd like to start it on Monday. I have this idea, and I'm just gonna do it. And to all of everybody listening,
in the end, that's all you can do, is just do it. And the more you do things, the better you get at it. I mean, you know that as an artist,
Yeah, exactly.
When you're a kid, you're drawing like funny little stick figures, and now as a 50-year-old man, you can draw really cool ninjas.
Exactly.
They're less sticky and they're more like ninja-y. So
that's the plan. So yeah, to the Berg Force out there, just bear with me. My videos might not be as exciting as the combined might of GI Joburg's videos are, or as great as Steven's videos are, but whatever's.
We'll get there. The whole thing is just putting it out there. So Darren is hoping for a written apology from Mr. Harmer about issue 300 under his Christmas tree.
Oh, yeah.
Steven didn't seem very big on it when he kind of like briefly mentioned having read it. But I'm excited to see what happens next. I'm just glad that it does sound like it will be published by another company and will continue past 300.
Yeah,
I
that
think
would be cool.
that's a good. I mean, also you never know like how much oversight he really had while he was, at IDW. Like maybe being somewhere else, he'll be more free to kind of like craft whatever stories he wants to. I don't know. I still haven't read the last 150 issues, so.
Yeah, there's that. I think in all fairness, I think we're too hard on the comic, I think, as fans sometimes.
I know for sure. I mean, like if you go back, I mean, like it's not always necessarily golden. Like I think nostalgia does make things much better than they were, but it's still good. I'm not saying like the original comic series is rubbish, but also at the time it was not a big thing, as well. He's writing a cool stories. He was just having fun with it, making a paycheck. But since then, obviously, he has become the big GI Joe guy. So I think there is maybe not a conscious pressure, but there is kind of like a pressure of like, people are expecting something from this, and hopefully, just let go of that and just go crazy.
I think it would be really helpful to the comic run, and also maybe just to the fandom if we weren't expecting. And I say we because you and I are part of the fandom as one. I don't want to create this like separation, like. There are good fans and bad fans.
It's not like we're not fans, obviously.
Yeah, but I think it would be quite helpful if we just sort of just let GI Joe the comic book just be a comic book, because I think sometimes we sit and we like, this is going to be the best book ever because this is this thing that we love to bits, and it's, and I think sometimes we put a lot of pressure on it. And I actually think guys of our age, or should I say fans of our age, never mind just GI Joe, we do put a lot of pressure on the things that we love. And this is most notable. Yeah, sorry, Rob. Yeah.
No, I was going to say Matthew sums it up nicely. All fandoms are way too hard to please.
Yes.
Like you really do.
Actually flash that on the screen.
Like the imagination that you have, or at least I'm interpreting. The more you think about something, you probably think about it a lot more than the people who created it ever did. Like we constantly, living it, we're breathing it, we're thinking about it way more than they ever did. It was just like, it's a job. They produced something cool, and it's amazing that people enjoyed it. But yeah, we really can overthink things. Probably.
Oh hell yes! Oh, like hell yes, definitely. Yeah, that's just what we do as fans, And I think it's also like, I mean, I've caught myself. Recently now there's a game called Callisto Protocol, and it's made by the guys.
I heard.
Yeah, so it's made by the guys who made Dead Space for our listeners. And Dead Space is incredibly cool. The first and second games are phenomenal, and actually so is the third one. If you just minus all of EA's tampering and wanting to get extra DLC monies in. But anyway, pardon me. That's cool. Anyway, anyway, Callisto Protocol is really great, and the internet's having a collective shit fit about it because it's not Dead Space. But that's the thing; it's not Dead Space. It's Callisto Protocol, and people needed like. I wish people would understand, or just maybe just slow down for 2 seconds and just take a breath and go. We've got a really cool sci-fi horror action game to play. We haven't had one of those. We didn't have one of those last year, and we didn't have one of those the year before. And we've got one that's actually of quite a high quality, and people are bitching and moaning. It's almost like, we just get that. That's the thing, we spend a lot of money on this stuff and we demand quality, but then sometimes when we have quality in our hands, we don't realize it's there, and it's just annoying.
Yeah.
So I think maybe just to sound, I mean, I haven't read the last episode of GI Joe either. Thank you, Bart. Bart sent it to me to have a look, digitally, of course. And I was just sort of getting in there, and I'm like, okay, yeah. So I feels like I should at least read the last 20 or so issues sequentially just to get myself into the right frame of mind. And maybe now I might appreciate that line of comic books a bit more, because I know that I've also been quite guilty of poo-pooing the most recent run of the comic books, and it's, with all of its associated drama and everything that goes around it. But I know Steven's been like quite good with that, like really good with that actually. He's been on top of it. So
Oh no, for sure. He's definitely read a ton more GI Joe comic books than I have. At this point.
MCDJ ACDC says maybe that's because our childhood memories are so strong and that we are that way. Yes, I agree with that. I also think it's that our lives, like thankfully for a lot of us, I think a lot of us, at least, and when I say this word, when I say we had the privilege of growing up in a, we grew up well, two parents or one strong parent, or, being able to afford school, all those things. We had certain privileges and whatever's growing up, but as kids, we had a good life. And so whenever things from our childhood lives come into our adult lives, they inspire memories. So whenever the new versions of those things come in, I think that they do fight with that inner child.
Yeah, they fight with that. Yeah, those ideas, the things that you've built up in your own memory of what these things are to
Exactly.
you as a child and as a person now. And yeah, as Matthew says, yeah.
Yeah.
We're so
No, you go.
we overanalyze every detail looking for meaning that isn't there. Yeah, we add, as fandoms, that's what we do. I mean, I think often, obviously, that does build on stuff. It does help the creators themselves. They're like, oh, wow, I never thought of it that way. They can kind of reincorporate stuff in there. And overanalyzing it's a good and a bad thing, because, we just spend so much time thinking about it that we really do know things inside and out. And I think that's a fun thing to be able to do, as long as you can kind of go, when there is new stuff, you kind of go, let me approach this fresh, hopefully.
Yeah.
And, and kind of like at least give it some sort of a chance before being like, yeah,
yeah,
maybe not.
No, I feel you. That said, and this is actually a great segue into the topic that Rob and I sort of came up with for this episode.
We brainstormed. We had many hours of thinking and deliberation between us.
Yes. But I like this. So we want to talk about some of the most ridiculous things of GI Joe. And small disclaimer, some of these things are things that we really love, or things that we really hate, or things that are just so GI Joe that are absolutely ridiculous, but in no means are we attacking our favorite thing. We just want to have a little bit of fun.
Like, here's something that feels ridiculous. Like, if you take it out of context, or if you look at it in the context that it is within. What is a ridiculous thing about a figure or an accessory or a weapon or whatever that just feels like, like you maybe you could have done that better.
Exactly. It's one of those situations where your grandmother sees you playing with GI Joes and she's like, "What are you playing with, dear?" And you're like, "Grandma, I'm playing with this sailor. My voice is cracking."
He's got he's got a parrot. His name's Polly.
He likes to drive the road toad. This is his favorite vehicle. Which, by the way, fans and lovers of GI Joe, everybody needs a road toad. You know how it's the best vehicle ever made, and that's actually exactly the vehicle we're going to kick off with. Where the heck is this picture of mine? I had it now. Anyway, while we get that, Rob, throw up one of your suggestions for a ridiculous or cool thing in GI Joe that's ridiculous. I don't know. You go.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go like hard on the very first one, if I can get this to work myself. Oh goodness, am I still here? Hello.
Dun, 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 dun,
Okay, so the first thing that I find really ridiculous, and has always been ridiculous, to me at least, is Zartan's Jesus mask. I always thought it was kind of silly. It's kind of funny. Like he's the master of disguise, and how do they kind of go about representing this? By giving him a little mask. Now he's a completely different person, and you would never be able to mistake him for who he was before. It's like, look away, and then he puts the mask on. Well, hello there. and they're like, "Oh my god, who are you? We've never seen you before." So to me, this mask has always been really hilarious. Like I find it absolutely ridiculous. It's just like, this is how you choose to make him like the master of disguise. And what's even more ridiculous to me, at least, is that it comes with a backpack that he puts the bloody face into. He puts the face in the backpack. Like to me, I don't know. I love Zartan. I love him to bits, but it's hilarious that he has this face in a mask, this mask in a backpack, and like that's the degree of his master of disguiseness, is that he puts a face in a backpack.
Oh, and I'm gonna give you a response to that in like 2 seconds, but I just want to lean into this comment from Jim Godfrey.
All right,
Hey
absolutely.
Jimmy,
Hey.
I think there's a bit too much reverence towards Hammer. Costa and Scioli have produced far superior work in the most recent years of the comic. I agree. And I'm scared people are going to get very cross with Paul for saying that, but I agree. And they've definitely put some wonderful paint on the house that Larry Hama built. And I know that everybody loves Scioli, but I loved that book. That was one of the most fun comic books I'd read in a
He
very
was
long time.
fantastic. I mean, Shirley kind of like reimagines a lot of properties. I mean, Matthew also mentions GoBots. Another fantastic attempt on his part to kind of like recontextualize old properties that kind of like live in people's memories and doing his own thing with them. I think, yeah, I mean, like what made, so like even if you go back to like a character like, while you're still looking to share your screen.
Yes.
What Batman, his own creator, Bill Finger and Bob Kane, they didn't do the best stories for Batman ever. The better stories have come decades after they even passed away.
Yeah.
That now that there are even amazing stories. So literally, like, the creator of something isn't always going to be the best person to do stories for something. I mean, you look at the cartoon, completely divested from anyone involved in the comic books, and they did their own things, and that attracted a lot of people to enjoy GI Joe in that vein. And yeah, for sure, I think we as fans have to be a lot less, critical, overthinking, and just like give someone else a chance to kind of show off how good they can be when they kind of like show off.
Totally. And just hope that it's not episode 7, 8, and 9. That's all.
Well, exactly. You see, because I mean, that's the thing. There can be good stuff and there can be bad stuff, and you measure it against what has come before. And Hama has definitely laid the road of a golden road that for people to follow. But yeah, everyone just take your own chances and do what you feel you want to do with the property.
And for something, and just to come back to your comment earlier about Zartan, Zartan, that feature got even more ridiculous. When they did the modern era and they gave you Storm Shadow and Duke. I mean, like Storm Shadow wearing a hood with a midriff. I mean, come now, Hasbro. I mean, not just Hasbro. Come on.
Come on. And then like suddenly Duke's like, I am wearing Zartan's clothes. Let's go, Joe. He went that way.
It's so ridiculous. It's like I could never get this like in my brain. Like, how is like, okay, like I'm going to convince people. I really kind of feel like we should play that up in a play motion one day as like a weird side joke. I think it's
I think that'd be hilarious. It's like he actually isn't the master of disguise. People just kind of like let him have it. They're like,
they just let him do it. It's like, oh, Zartan, he's been drinking again.
He's doing the thing again where he puts the mask on. Come on.
Oh, he's doing the voice. He's doing the voice.
Okay.
Oh,
help
he's
yourself to
him.
the chips at the back. Oh, okay. I guess it's my owner. He needed the chips. From the back of the cafe. Okay, you can have them. Owner man.
You could have just asked. The thing is though, in saying that, I wouldn't have it any other way. But the modern era, for example, I love that he comes with those two stupid masks. I just do.
Yeah.
It's like
I love
that
that's how they represented it. It's just objectively, it's ridiculous. But
Mm-hmm.
Paul, who's the guy that you're sharing with us right now? Who's
This is
this?
a guy that does my garden, man. This is Pathfinder. I I as a kid could never get my head around this guy. As a kid, I was just like, this dude is this dude's just like got this huge cutting thing. He's got two guns, and may I just add on the card art, it does look like his gun is coming out of his crotch. Just want to
Yes.
put that out there, like just so that everybody can see that. I'd hate for people to miss out on that. Let me see if I can zoom in there. I think it's control. There we go. There we go. Extreme close up. There we go. It looks like it's coming out of his crotch. It's like right there. I know it's not, but it does look like it is. So yeah, this guy. Yeah, this guy. I used to give David so much hell because he kind of the figure version of him kind of looks like my Asian buddy Dave. So I hope nobody thinks I'm profiling here, but it does look a lot like Dave because Dave did love to always wear sunglasses all the time, and he did used to. It looks like Dave. Okay, I'm just putting it out there, and Dave's from Hong Kong, so take that as you how you will. But Pathfinder is a ridiculous figure. He really is. I mean, like what? Nobody else in GI Joe can cut down plants with a machete.
Apparently
You know,
so. He has to have a special machine that does it for you.
a special machine.
An electric machete machine that cuts down grass. Pathfinder,
And I
go first. The grass is too tall.
And I love how they give him that hat. Like on the card art, he looks like this looks like a guy that's gonna like scam you out of something. Like he's gonna scam you. He's gonna try and sell. Like if he was running around today, he'd be trying to sell you Dodge crypto. You know, you get what I mean? Like he's got that look. Like, hey kids, want to buy some crypto? You know, and also that hat kind of reminds me of Bill Murray from Groundhog Day.
Oh, it does, yeah.
Right? So yeah, as Darren Cobb says, Pathfinder, undercover gardener. And it's so
feels
stupid,
like he's
but
suited to being a gardener rather than a GI Joe.
and once again, it's going to sound like terrible backpedaling, but I love this toy's accessories, and I totally went out of my way to get my hands on one because I really do like the spinning blade of death. It's actually quite nasty if you think about it. I mean, and those guns, like the fact that they sit on the backpack the way they do is pretty cool. So yeah, I dig them. I dig him.
Well, a good comment about the Weed Whacker from Buttface69. Why the hell did we not, as a society, choose the name Electric Machete over Weed Whacker? Agreed.
Yes,
agreed.
There we
Electric
go.
Machete sounds so much cooler. Like I would actually want to use that to cut down grass.
That should be his like code name, Electric Machete. He's like, what do I do? He's like, I mow the lawn. Rob, what is your next pick?
Okay, so my next one, I adore this figure. It's one of my favorites. It's Incinerator. But what I never really
Oh, you also got one. Okay, now I got to find a new incinerator.
What I really didn't enjoy was the fact that he came with a catapult.
Same.
It made no sense to me because, like, if you think about it, his flamethrower can shoot as far as that catapult can, and it really is not reaching much further. Like, he's got like weird balls of fire that he throws at people. It's like, just shoot them with your flamethrower. You're right there. Just do it. It's just a fantastic figure. Like, I love him, but this catapult always, like, it made no sense to me. Like, literally, you pull the little thing, it throws it, and what does he do with the thing? Like, there's nowhere to carry it. It's like he's flamethrowing people and he's dragging this giant catapult along with him on the battlefield. I feel like he needs like a team of people that carry this for him while he, flamethrows GI Joes and innocent people.
And guys, you know that I loved this toy as a kid because I actually still have the catapult.
Yeah, like, I still have the catapult too. I mean, I definitely do. I still have the figure, but I mean, like the catapult is just like, it's just like it never made sense to me. Like they just felt like they had to include something with him. Because obviously, it's the 90s. They all got to have something that throws things or shoots missiles.
Shoots things, yeah.
But it's like you didn't have to do this. He's so cool without it.
Also, this is one for the comments. When you are watching this on YouTube, and also to the Bergforce here in the chat. Rob's got a pic here, and it's from yojo.com. Thank you, yojo.com. I always felt like this was the wrong way to wear the backpack for the incinerator. I always
You felt
preferred
like
that
this was
big.
upside down.
Yeah, I feel like the horizontal tube should be horizontal canister should be at the bottom by his bum. Controversy. Ooh.
So which way is it, guys? Tube
Is
at
it
the
up
bum or
or
tube at the
down?
back? Yeah.
Yeah, let us know because obviously I'm wrong. Steven's going to be like, I'm wrong. But
Yeah, he's going to tell you in the comments. He's going to be like, sorry, Paul. Actually, this is the proper way of doing it because the cable wouldn't reach all the way up there. And of course, the way that fuel runs, it runs like this.
yeah, exactly. And sorry about that. That is my alarm, despite my phone being
Oh
on
my
silent.
goodness,
Yeah, no,
alarms.
that was. Yeah, we're not used to doing podcasts while the sun is still shining here in South Africa.
Absolutely.
So.
This is a very weird time. We do apologize to the patrons who got time zones messed up, but like we literally chose this time because it is smack dab between my load shedding, like schedule, and also Paul's load shedding
No shedding schedule. Shedding. That
we both have power at this time, so that's why we went with this weird time of
Darren
5
Cobb,
p.m. in South African afternoon.
Darren Cobb, that is like Destro and his Mars pizza launcher in case of Ninja Turtle invasion. Yes, agree. But ironically, that was actually a very cool toy, that sewer launcher with the dustbin and
yeah,
everything.
it was great fun, but it's just like, why did you come with that? It's just another mechanism that obviously that they could do in the 90s.
I'm just so glad that he didn't come with a rocket launcher that is supposedly a flamethrower. And I'm referring, of course, to Mega Marines. Yeah. So then jumping in here as well, and I love this comment as well from MCDJ ACDC. He would have been better in Star Brigade. He does have that great like space look.
I can see it. I can definitely see it. Yeah.
Totally see that happening.
I just love the detailing on this character. Like I just love like the weird like stippling of his like I suppose it's, his armor, like the orange bits. It's like he has lots of great textures. This figure.
And here we go. Oh no, not from this one. That's great. Just chasing Eddie's toys. Same with Paul on the backpack. Keep the weight down. Heck yeah. And MCDJ just reminding us. Telephone. Yep. Muppet fans will get it. Let us know. Yep. Phone. Cool. I'm gonna jump in with mine then. I'm gonna add this to the stream. Who decided that this woman should be allowed to wear spandex on a battlefield? I mean,
wow. Okay.
Wow.
I was being controversial with my Zartan, mask. Okay.
Right?
I can kind of see where you're coming from.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. You got a very attractive woman wearing skin-tight leather on the battlefield. Okay, she's got a very tiny backpack. This is the most ridiculous thing they've ever done in GI Joe. I mean, what the hell? Like, I mean, she can't even sneak on people because she's been in that for a while. So all you hear is wait. What's that sound?
It's a huge distraction for the soldiers behind her.
Yes.
Instead of focusing on taking out the the enemies, they're sort of checking her out. But yeah, I think that suit has got to get very hot very quickly on a battlefield.
Oh heck yeah!
You're not getting around silently in that outfit.
And guys, all the love to the Baroness. It's just recently being in a convention with load shedding being like heavy as it has been. Guys, I know that we're using load shedding a lot, and I suspect that maybe
all the time.
At this point in the podcast, you're more than welcome to have a shot every time Rob and I say that, and you'll get properly drunk. So use this episode for a party game. It's going to be a good idea. Let's get that Christmas cheer going. But it was so hot in there because the air conditioning kept failing. It was a particularly humid weekend and one of the hottest in Joburg this summer. That the place stank to high heaven. I'm just going to say. And that's because, for those who don't know, Rage does like a whole 3-day long LAN event. And guys, I mean, these guys could have all cumulatively taken showers in the place that still stunk. So this is no like disrespect to the guys there. It's just it was it smelled like human in there. And I'm just thinking, and that's why the Baroness just kind of jumped out at me because I was like, wow,
Like,
to wear
oh
something
god,
that
she would not
tight.
survive.
Yeah, it just gave me the heebie-jeebies. I was just like, it's gonna be gross to wear. So that's one. So that's three. We're three in, or two in for me.
But always the man of reason. Darren Cobb says, God decided it. That's why she's wearing that outfit, and we are all thankful. What next, Paul? Lady J needs to button up.
That's actually a good idea.
That is a good idea. I mean, like,
what the
it's
hell,
dangerous.
man?
Loose
It's
buttons on a
dangerous.
battlefield. Come on.
Yes,
Who's
no,
gonna choke
like
on that?
that. But I mean, I don't know. I think Lady J, if those boobs got out, people could die. I mean, she's hot. Lady J's hot. Maybe that's the whole reason for Baroness. I mean, I know this is gonna be we're gonna get in such trouble for this episode, but maybe that's the thing. Maybe Baroness has to wear that all of that stuff just to protect
exactly
the weak men on the battlefield from her body, from her body.
My next one is a 2-for-1 because I didn't realize that two different characters came with the same setup. So this is always being weird and annoying to me. Was Muskrat. Muskrat and Mace both came with a helmet.
Wasn't it the other way around?
Helmet. It's pretty
Mace
cool.
and then Muskrat. Yeah. Anyway,
I don't know. It's one or the other.
I get so confused with this figure as well, unless I see the face.
Muskrat and Mace, or maybe it's the other way around. But anyway, they both come with a helmet to which their missile launcher is attached. It's attached to their helmet and nothing else. They're not holding onto it with their hands. I think like in the package art, maybe one of them is, but otherwise they're just standing there with a giant missile launcher on their head, lopsided. It's only on one side. It's not like, counterbalance with any weights on the other side. On their head is a missile launcher.
Yeah.
I think the only plus side of this is that at least they covered up the eye that's closer to the missile. So that when you fire that missile, at least your right eye is not going to get burned completely out of the socket.
Can you imagine? But now the real question is, Rob, would you want it any other way? Like that's the thing. Like if you I know for a fact if I had this toy as a kid, my kid logic in wanting to be more of a grown-up would want to cut that thing off the side of their head and be like, yeah, now it's cool. Now it looks like something from Mad Max or Fist of the North Star. But as an adult, I would kick myself. I'd be so annoyed. I'd lament the fact that thing is missing because this is the most ridiculous thing.
It's absolutely, I've always thought it's ridiculous, but I really do wish I owned at least one of these figures so I can actually see this for myself, in real life, like behold it and actually attach the missile launch it to his hat and then attach the hat to his head. And he's like, yeah, I'm ready for battle now. I'm really ready. I'm so ready.
I've got my head in the game.
Hell yeah. And it's chasing toys in the comments. At least they're using their heads.
So, just a midstream mid podcast shout out,
midstream.
I suppose. Midstream. So we've had a whole bunch of guys here. I just want to on this festive episode, just do a shout out to MC DJ ACDC, Darren Cobb, our stalwarts, Matthew Comstock. So good to have you around again, man. We miss seeing you and we miss your comments, and we know you're a cool guy. So I'm glad to see you here. Where is the other little man that snuck in here? Not little. The other man that snuck in here is Buttface69, who hell yeah, he made our podcast look so good last episode with his flight helmets and that sexy voice. I'm sure we're getting lots of comments about that.
Oh yeah, believe me. I mean, I don't even have to pick my favorite comment. They're all just basically. I hope you guys thank that man because he was amazing.
He is amazing.
People are just like, Buttface is the best. We love Buttface.
And then I'm sure I saw Chasing 80s is here as well. And Jimmy We did do a shout out to Jimmy earlier. So what's up, Jimmy? And I did see Bob as well.
Bomb Squad's here too, yeah.
Bob Squad, the Bob Squad's here as well. So we've got quite a
You
full house
should
of
be
really, really
blushing,
awesome things.
Buttface. People love you.
69, I'm blushing. But I want to jump in. I want to jump into some of these comments. My first one was greeting.
World's strongest necks.
Oh, sweet death. Yeah, MC DJ is like, oh, sweet death, take me now. This is because of my comments on the Baroness, I'm sure. And then Darren Cobbers, attention, Bergforce. Can we have a minute's silence for our fallen brother, Paul? Guys, you know I love the Baroness a lot more than I should. And it's possible that I have some kind of weird, unhealthy obsession with her. You know how it is. You're a kid. You see this woman on a cartoon. And it inspires strange thoughts and feelings.
Paul, until the role playing gets to the bedroom and you have Cecilia, dressing up as Baroness. I think.
Yeah, and it's
I
like,
think, as long as you never admit to that, I think we're okay.
So yeah, so that's the thing. And then Matthew is also like, this is something from Motu. Yes, surely it's
absolutely
gun head blast,
head man, head blast,
blast head. Head bang, bang head, head bang. That would be a cool name for a GI Joe. Cool.
As Darren says, time to head up and book out.
Yeah, time to butt out and head out. Wait, hit what? Anyway, adding to the guys, I just want to present you the most infallible GI Joe toy ever made, ever.
Wow.
You absolutely cannot discount this character at all. This is obviously this is the Cobra Ninja known as Storm Shadow. There's absolutely nothing wrong with Storm Shadow. He is undeniably like just so great. I mean, he's a ninja and he wears white, and that's just because he's even invisible wearing white. He can kill tanks. He comes with swords. He doesn't have guns in this world of military. He just stabs literally everybody. It's bulletproof.
Everybody
in fact,
everything.
Everything. It took us a long time to get here, but at least we're finally at a point now where movies are now starting to understand how Storm Shadow works in a battlefield. I'm of course referring to the trailer for the latest John Wick film, where you actually see John Wick literally blocking bullets with a katana, and I still want to watch that movie. So...
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So Storm Shadow is completely infallible. I know Rob fully agrees with me. Steven's sitting there going, yes, Paul, you're absolutely 100% right.
He's probably I don't know why he's mentioning him in this ridiculous segment.
I just had to put that out there. I didn't want anybody to throw any shade because I just felt like maybe people would maybe take the opportunity to take a jab at this fantastic toy, and they haven't yet. So go you, everybody.
Yeah, for sure. A ninja in the middle of a military force absolutely makes perfect sense.
Totally. But guys,
100%.
let's be real here. I mean, like, no more bullshit, no more sarcasm, no more. Storm Shadow is possibly one of the dumbest things ever in the GI Joe line. Let's not dick around. It's a freaking ninja in an Army Toys line. I mean, what's he doing there? Like, I mean, he's got a bow and arrow. It's not even like a killer bow and arrow. It's like some Fisher Price thing. It's like, I mean, how many kids, when they got this ninja, were like, yeah, I love playing with a ninja in my army stories.
Sweet.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Let me, face him off against Duke and Roadblock.
Exactly.
Definitely going to win.
And just to add insult to injury, it's one of the most valuable GI Joe toys that you can get. And why? Is it just because they made a mistake to put a ninja in the line? I don't know. It's messed up.
They obviously weren't thinking. It is pretty ridiculous to have a ninja in a military line. It makes no sense whatsoever. Why would you even bother?
Darren Cobb says all he sees is a blank screen. What ninja? And that's exactly the problem. Like, you can't even see the toy. It's invisible. It's just ninjas are dumb. The 80s were dumb. We're gonna get into so much crap for this.
Do you know what's more dumb?
What's more dumb?
More dumb is a guy who goes on the battlefield. He calls himself Captain Gridiron.
Oh,
And
this
he's like,
clown.
I'm the biggest football fan ever in the history of the world. And he carries his bombs. They let this guy, they let him wear his football gear and let him go on the battlefield with
Actual
football-shaped
football
grenades,
bombs.
football bombs. I don't understand.
This is like the dumbest idea.
I can't even understand it. Why would
Who
you
even
bother
likes
doing this?
American football? Like, that's a
No
real
one
sport,
does.
Rob. I
No,
think
for
it's a
sure.
real
But
sport.
there's no World Cup for American football. I mean, there was a World Cup for, soccer, but not for American football. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, they only have. I think it's the international series. I don't know. Somebody who knows about this game. I know that there's a lot of rugby people here that listen to the podcast, but I don't know how many people are into American football.
So, yeah, this guy to me is.
But face is like, hey now.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I'm not knocking like sport themed, characters in general. I'm just like, he took the theme and
Hardball's the best
really
GI
ran
Joe.
with it.
Let's not. Yeah.
He took
Yeah.
that theme and he really ran with it. Like it's like he's an actual football player, and he grabbed the football, he ran for the, I don't know, the 90-yard line where they're running 50 yards. Where they're going, I don't even understand.
But face 6'9", me, it's me.
Oh wow. Yep.
MC DJ ACD. That's because the rest of the world's too weak to play American US football.
Because like they have done good sports characters before, I mean, there are characters that have like sports vests. I think, who is it, Bazooka. I mean, he has that kind of like numbered vest on. It kind of just adds a little bit extra to the character. And I think a really well done sport themed character is Hardball.
That's the best GI Joe they've ever made, hands down.
I think he's
best
fantastic.
GI Joe.
I mean,
right next to Wild Boar.
Absolutely, another fantastic character. But like comparing Gridiron to Hardball, I think Hardball is a much better representation of someone who really enjoys his sport, but actually uses like the knowledge of the sport to inform the way that he uses his weapons, instead of being like, I'm going to carry around a baseball bat and I'm going to knock these grenades over to the other side, to the Cobra team. Like, he's taken that idea, like, I love baseball, and he's transformed it into, it's a soldier who lobs grenades with an actual proper grenade launcher. This works so much better.
And guys, can I just take a few seconds here just to comment on, and in all seriousness now, Hardball is a great toy. I actually really love Hardball.
I'm agreeing that I'm contrasting
Gridiron
to Hardball. I think Hardball is a really good. It's a good idea, of taking someone who's really into his sport, but adapting that to his military specialty, essentially.
And that grenade launcher is absolute sex.
It's so
I think it's so cool. Yeah. It is so cool. That, like, if I kind of, it's weird. It almost has as much personality as Hardball does,
Yeah.
And
so.
that's something.
It's
that's
a
something
uniquely shaped
there.
weapon, which is kind of cool. But getting back to Captain Gridiron, Buttface, says a football-shaped grenade makes sense in terms of being able to throw a larger, more deadly grenade further. Okay, that does make perfect sense. Although he does then come back with, it would suck to carry them around, though.
Yeah, that's true. I also love the bit of insight we had here from Buttface on Captain Gridiron makes sense, but because he's a West Point grad, and they let those guys do whatever stupid thing they want.
Okay, so there is actually a reason for why this guy exists. It's like, I'm really good at football, but I can't get into a professional football team. Well, you can use those abilities on the battlefield. Oh, great.
Exactly. And guys, it would be so easy to go after, to go over somebody like Raptor, okay? And, in GI Joburg, I just feel like maybe this is not something we ever set out to do, but we've always appreciated giving the underappreciated characters like a bit of love, injecting them with some excitement, not because we felt we needed to, but just because we've got all these cool toys to play with. and you want to enjoy all of them, you should make them cool. We shouldn't be like discounting stuff, except for Wild Ball. That toy sucks. But but so I'm gonna kind of leave Raptor out of this because it's just really too easy to
We
pick
never
on.
go for the low hanging fruit. Never.
We really don't go for the low hanging
Never.
fruit. We never do.
No
And
ways.
Rob is so sneaky. I never know how serious he actually is. In fact, dude, that's something that was quite sweet because Celia kind of mentioned it on the drive home, and she's like,
Okay.
she's like, you can never really tell when Rob's being serious or not. And I'm like, only in the beginning. Only in the beginning. Because
Eventually it'll make sense.
yeah. So
You'll get there.
So
Don't
Crystal
worry.
Ball, guys. Like,
Okay. Well, this came out of left field.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this would be considered low-hanging fruit, which is why I'm not going to pick on him. But I do want to take a few minutes and just kind of reflect on the fact that this character, in my opinion, and I'm not talking about now, because obviously some of the comic writers of today, of the now, have kind of clicked on this. And, Troy, you clicked on this as well. And that's why, you wanted him in Red Glare. I'm a big fan of Crystal Ball because I feel like there's a lot of potential there, especially considering that this figure was actually, conceptualized by Stephen King. Yeah,
Yeah,
is it Stephen?
and he
Yeah,
looks awesome too. I think he looks like a proper maniac. He's a good villain.
he is a great villain. I cannot understand, and okay, actually, I suppose now that I give it some thought, it is an 87 Joe, but he would have been such a great villain in the cartoon. I really feel like Crystal Ball is just one of those toys that should be mentioned for just being such a great character with I think, fantastic character design, but just an average value for toys. Like, as a toy, like I'm sure a lot of kids, and I know a lot of kids got Crystal Ball because he was probably on sale. And I mean, I know that if Crystal Ball was on sale in South Africa, I would have had him because my mother, was a working mom. And she would have only gone to the shops much, much later after all the other moms managed to buy all the Brave Stars. And I would have gotten a Crystal Ball, which would have been cool because I would have had a GI Joe. Just this would have been the one I had. And it doesn't seem like the most exciting figure, actually, at first glance. This is really like the intellectual person's GI
Yeah, for
Joe.
sure, because he doesn't even come with weapons.
So,
although,
yeah.
having said that, my mom probably would have bought him for me, the way she did Scoop.
So
I probably would have owned him too.
Exactly, right? But the thing is, Scoop is cool. Like, if you look at Scoop just as a kid, I know, like, my feelings about Scoop, if I had that in my hands as a kid, I would have been like, look at all this cool stuff. And with Crystal Ball, I can relate to this figure mostly because I got that bartender from the Brave Star series. In fact, this not all came back, but I was sort of reminded of this when we went to go and check out Hein Wizards' store. And I saw that bartender, the green one from Brave Star, and I just remember having him as a kid, and all he literally came with was like those serving trays, and then he had a flicking action in his arm or something to shoot those serving trays out. And yeah, that was thrilling. I'm sure a lot of kids who got that figure were thrilled, and that's how I feel a lot of people will probably like feel about when they got Crystal Ball. But only when you get a bit older do you really hate the bartender from Brave Star, but actually appreciate Crystal Ball.
Yeah, I think the older you get, the more you like him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as Jim says, well, he apologizes first. Sorry to keep going on, but CB was an incredible character in Costa's GI Joe Cobra.
Exactly.
So even though the cartoon didn't do him well, or use him at all, he was definitely well used in the comics.
Totally. And that's the thing, right? Like, that's a good example of the fan base and the writers growing up with the fan base, growing up together. So thank you for mentioning that, Jimmy, because yeah, that's exactly how I feel. And and I just love the idea of him being like a crazy ass Uri Geller mystic trying to sell crap to people and just evolving, at least in my mind, evolving into actually being quite a dangerous person in the whole thing, cult of personality type of vibe. Anyway, which brings us to Rob's next offering. I think this is your
this is my final one.
Your final one. It's the
Yes.
final
So
weirdo or whatever.
it's the final figure. So first, okay. So for those who can see what I'm sharing, hopefully you can't see who it is. But who is this? Who is this? Like, if you were to just
That
look at him and you didn't know who he was, who would you think he is?
oh, are you asking me? You want me to
I'm
tell
asking
you?
you.
You're
Yeah,
asking me.
I'm
I keep
asking
wanting.
you. Who is
I,
this?
I keep wanting to. Isn't that meant to be Dusty? No. Yeah. No. Not Dusty. Isn't that meant to be Flint or something?
It is. This is Flint. But that's
Crazy.
ridiculous because he does
Because
not
it
look a single thing like Flint.
doesn't look a thing like Flint.
Even though he apparently comes. I mean, what he has on his head is apparently a beret, and that's not really obvious because of the way that they sculpted the helmet that he has. It just
Have you
looks
got
like
the card art?
the card art. I did not. I didn't. I'm gonna get it right now because on the card, yes. Thank you for mentioning the card art because on the card art, it is a mix of Dusty's. It would have like a flowing like piece of fabric on it, while
This
the actual figure does not have that. It just looks awful.
it's weird. Like for Flint, it looks absolutely awful. But as a GI Joe character, I think it looks pretty cool.
It's
Like
pretty awesome, but I mean, it's just like as Flint, it
yeah,
makes no sense whatsoever.
it also
At all.
kind of reminds me as like of Judge Dredd, and I see just as I said that chasing 80s in the comments. Flint cosplaying a custom Judge Dredd with that helmet. Heck yeah. And MC DJ ACDC actually also that's Raptor 2.0. That makes total sense to me.
Yeah.
You know, as
But
well.
like okay,
Look
so
at
on
the
the
card
card
art.
art, it's way more obvious that is a beret, but they've kind of attached fabric to it, so he's more prepared. I guess this is more like Desert Flint, and it's literally that's what it says on his card. He's Desert Paratrooper. So the card art makes it pretty obvious. Wow, he has a sandblaster and it shoots. Oh god. Oh no, please no. But
No,
like,
you're
and
not
it's
allowed to
even
shoot
listed
actual bullets.
as a beret on Yojo. But like,
Yeah,
it does
but
not look anything when you put it on his head. That is not a beret. There's just that's a bucket helmet that he's putting on his head. To me, seriously, this is the most ridiculous thing in all of GI Joe. Like, nothing about this figure screams at me Flint. This is Flint at all. Like, you see him from a distance, you're like, okay, yeah, maybe, you know, Dusty. I don't know, like a Duke with a bucket on his head.
yeah,
absolutely
I am the law.
nothing. And yeah, or like Judge Dredd. This could be a really cool Judge Dredd figure, actually.
Yeah.
But nothing about this says to me this is Duke. I mean Flint. Right? I'm getting confused. I can't even remember who he is anymore. That's how confusing this figure is.
Yeah, I keep
exactly.
I like
it's
Beach
weird.
Time Cobra Commander.
Actually, the first thing that I saw when I was thinking about like what's really ridiculous in GI Joe, and to me this is like for real ridiculous. Like, I cannot understand how you go and call this Flint. It's not. Beach Time Cobra Commander, as Darren Cobb says. Yeah, for sure. That's a better guess. But like, it's awful. I can't stand this. Why? Why do you look like this? Why? I just think this is, yeah, I mean, like, I've been having fun up to this point, but like, for reals, guys, please in the comments tell me why does he look like this?
Yeah, this is I don't understand. It's almost like he's a different character, dude. It's like
he is literally another character. Like, the only way that you can tell that you can't even, I think they just named him Flint because they just couldn't be bothered to come up with a new name for a character.
Yeah. I honestly think that's exactly the thing, you know?
I think that's literally it. It makes me sad. Poor Flint never got another cool version.
Flint. A character that, like, a Joe that I absolutely love the toy of. I have enjoyed his cartoon representation of immensely. But I think is still very much an anomaly in the line of GI Joe. Maybe it is considered a bit of low-hanging fruit, but I do want to kind of get into this a little bit, because this character is Barbecue. And
Oh wow.
and actually not just Barbecue, there's another one as well that I'm kind of lumping two into one here. I love the idea of having a firefighter in GI Joe, and that part makes sense to me because, you know, when you're a kid, you want to grow up to be a cop, a fireman, an army man, a mailman, a pilot. These are some of the roles that were thrust upon us as children when we were coming up with our future careers. Not artists or ninjas, by the way, but just one of us in this podcast wanted to be one of those.
Barbecue.
Barbecue.
Yes.
But I really love this toy, and I really love my classified version of him as well. And
It's a really cool figure.
He's a really cool figure. I just don't know what to do with him in GI Joe stories. Like, in my mind sometimes, does he set fires to put out? Because
I guess he just goes with the team wherever they go in case there's like fire. They're like, "Oh, you guys are gonna go into a war zone where there's maybe fires?" And he's like, and they're like, "Yeah, no, for sure. Okay, well, then maybe you'll need someone to put those out for you."
He's also pretty lonely, you know, because there's nobody else that actually puts fires out. There's only this, you know. We've only got this monster over here.
Other guys, who are making the fires, and he's like, "Come on, please."
And apologize. Yeah, apologies for the typing. But then you got Blowtorch. He's like, I love him as well. This toy is great. Guys, if you don't have a Blowtorch in your life, please get Blowtorch.
Get a Blowtorch.
Oh, it's so great. He's so great. Like, as me as an adult, I run around, I go and I set stuff on fire with him all the time. All the time. And it's so much fun. But like, a flamethrower in a good guy side of the army is a little bit scary. And I think it's kind of ridiculous in some ways as well, you know?
That is kind of scary.
It is kind of scary. And I mean, Charbroil's also in this mix. So we have three. We have three of these. Yet we have Charbroil, one computer specialist.
And one guy who puts their fires out, basically.
Exactly. But we only have one computer specialist and one communication specialist in the whole of GI Joe, which is kind of ridiculous if you think about it, you know? Three people that technically can make fire. One of them's job is to actually put fires out. The other two is to make fires burnier and to make cobras meltier and screamier. So, yeah. Actually, 4. Ice Cream Soldier is also a flamethrower dude, isn't he? Yeah, he's also a flame trooper.
Yes, actually is. Wow.
Yeah.
GI Joe
wow.
has more flamethrower dudes than Cobra does. I mean, Cobra just has Incinerator.
Yeah. It's pretty weird if you think about it. And I mean, I suppose Torch, if you want to look at it like, but Torch is not really Cobra, but he is. But you know,
he is. He's a bad guy, so Torch counts. But like as a trooper, like they only have the incinerators.
So yeah, like that's the thing. Like I just think, like, so for my fifth one, it's not so much a figure or a toy from GI Joe that's ridiculous. It's a concept in GI Joe that I find absolutely ridiculous. I love it.
And fire flamethrowers.
I love it because I think Blowtorch, Charbroil, and Barbecue are 3 of the most amazing toys ever made in the line. And I know I say that about a lot of GI Joe, but hey, that's why we have a podcast about GI Joe. We love this stuff. But like, in all fairness, you can do no wrong with a Blowtorch figure. I mean, when I had the modern era version of Blowtorch, I have like 2 or 3 of them because he kept coming in like subsequent waves, and I was a little fatigued. I was like, oh god, it's another Blowtorch. Like, fuck. But that first one that I got in the modern era was amazing, and the vintage in a lot of ways is like comparable. It's just as good in terms of its features, maybe even better because less finicky. If you can believe that with Blowtorch, because Blowtorch is kind of finicky for a vintage toy. But yeah, just the concept of GI Joe having so many flamethrowers and Cobra having like, well, none.
One
or 2.
Well,
one.
Yeah, well,
one and a half.
2, but basically one. And also that one only came along in the 90s. While GI Joe had flamethrower only for like probably 10 years ish.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's absolutely crazy, actually, if you really do think about it. Like, they were really willing to use anything to take on Cobra. Like, there were no limits. And hello, Hans. Have a good family time.
Darren Cobb and Hans Chow. Wow, a drive-by Hans job. Hans, we missed you too, buddy. Like, yeah, we haven't.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Next
Ninja,
episode will
vanish.
hopefully be at a more reasonable time. Like
Yes.
load shedding, take shot.
Holy
Willing,
dinger.
we'll
All the
be back
things.
to a much more normal time. Today we were like we want to do an episode, and we don't often get to do episodes without Steven, so we're like, we have to
We'll
do
take
it.
the opportunity.
We can't not do it.
That said, guys, so the next episode, if we have to go by our usual episode frequency scheduling, is over the Christmas weekend. And Steve is here with family and he's got all the kids and everything. So we just need to get into our little tent and figure out what we're going to do. And we'll let you know when the next episode is. There's a high likelihood it might be before Christmas or just after. Or maybe we'll even do a Christmas Eve one. I don't know. We traditionally
I don't know either. Because don't forget, it's not just Christmas, but it is also Steven's wedding anniversary.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
It's a huge thing. It's like, Steven's
it's a
tons of things he has to be responsible for.
Yeah,
but, you never know. We might be able to drag him away and be like, save the gammon, save the turkey for later, just chat with us. Chat with the people for an hour and a half.
So that's the cool thing. So we're just gonna figure out what's going on there. So guys, please don't be cross with us if we don't have an episode over the Christmas weekend. But
or tell us how much you hate us in the comments.
Yeah, tell us how much you hate us in the comments.
Over the Christmas season where we all should be giving and taking and having a lovely time being nice to each other.
And also I feel like because we haven't had that episode or that because we're not sure when that episode's happening. I know the Americans, you guys have just had Thanksgiving. Well, that was a couple of weeks ago now. I swear I'm still trying to get myself right. I keep thinking it's the end of November, but I know I'm in December. It's weird. But yeah, guys, to the Berg Force, to everybody that listens to our show, that watches our YouTube videos, that watches our podcast on the YouTube. Thank you so much, guys. It's really, really awesome. It's great that we have built this awesome... that we've managed to build this thing called GI Joburg that we really enjoy doing. Sometimes, in all honesty, full disclosure, sometimes it is difficult, and then it ends up being a great show, and it ends up being a great play motion episode. So it's not always easy. It's not always roses, guys, but it ends up being roses, which is cool.
All great fun in the end.
All great fun in the end, and the fact that you all, make time for us to listen to us in your busy days, and that you guys have, supported us through the Patreon, supported the YouTube shorts, the vlogs and stuff that Steven's been doing, which are separate to the YouTube shorts. But all that, guys, thank you so much. That's really, really super, super awesome.
The biggest gift we can get in Christmas is an amazing group of people who enjoy us.
Group of people.
And we enjoy you guys.
And people we actually call friends, so thank you guys. Thank you for that. And it's really awesome. And I'm so glad that, that we've done this podcast. I'm so glad that we do this because it reminds me of, the better side of the world, and how cool things can be. And
the more ridiculous side of the world sometimes too.
And I love it. It's the ultimate excuse for me to be able to spend time with my friends, with two of my closest, if not my closest friends, Rob and Steve. No, I know, dude. I know. And
tearing up inside.
I've got exactly. I'm also inside. It's melty custards and stuff like that. But it's also given me a great excuse to still be able to keep the child in me alive while I'm a grown up. And I hope that in some small way we've done that for everybody else in the Berg Force. And yeah, guys, it's been a nuts year. But let me not do too much of that because I'm sure Stephen would also love to comment and have
absolutely. He's going to you know him.
Yeah, maybe want to throw some. Maybe he'll sing a song. He'll sing some Christmas ditty or something. You never know. And Rob, before we head out the door, is there anything from Postbox? Not Postbox, the Pit, from Scoop.
Scoop, boop, doop, doop. Well, as I said earlier, I think basically I could not find a single comment on our previous video or his previous episode that was not like waxing lyrical about how amazing Buttface69 is. So I think my favorite comment is every single person who absolutely enjoyed Buttface. Thank you for listening to the episode and having a great time with him. I'm sorry I couldn't be there. Hopefully we'll do it again next year. and we can all be together.
And we also got a very cool postbox the pit.
Whoa.
I wonder if Steve wants to comment on this, but I'm here and we might as well do it
You're
now.
here
And
now, so
so Sam Smith writes, "Gents, great episode about jets. You raised good questions about the Cobra Pogo, and I pointed out its many flaws. It's a ridiculous toy. May or may not be the genesis of this current episode, by the way. That's parentheses. That's Paul. Still kind of fun though. When I look at the Pogo, I see this, and it's an illustration of a mug. It's a mug and a Pogo. God, I can't get this image off here. I'm ridiculously stupid. Anyway, my personal theory on this," says Sam, "is based on zero evidence whatsoever, is that some Hasbro designer lost a bet to another Hasbro designer, whereby the loser had to make a coffee mug into a GI Joe toy. I mean, the main body of the Pogo looks like it was built to fit the cup holder of your car. Also, the Pogo doesn't fit comfortably. It doesn't comfortably fit a 375 or 3/4 inch figure, but it does fit 6 ounces of hot brown liquid." Coincidence? I think not. Haha, says Sam. Sam, thank you for that, man. That's really, really cool. And I got another one. I got another episode. This is for I think I don't know. I think Steve might be saving this for an episode. But Sam Smith also went, "Gents, in episode 278, one of you, Paul or Rob, I think, made a passing reference to Red-Headed Joes. That got me thinking. Uh-oh, we're in trouble, Rob. There are a lot of ginger GI Joes. I always thought that ginger folk were rare. The product of double recessive genes." Okay, that's way above my pay grade right now. "A quick Google search confirms this. The ginger gene shows up in about 1 to 2% of the population, of the human population overall, and 2 to 6% in people of Northern European ancestry." I can confirm, yes. "Since Christmas is the season for red and green, let's count the number of ginger Joes for the sake of fun. Here's the roster as best I can tell." Guys, obviously, once again, we're not profiling people, and gingers are great. Cool, let's get into it. 82 Scarlet, also 93 Scarlet. 83 Cover Girl. The figure has brown hair, but the box art clearly shows red hair. Dun dun dun. Snow Job. Wild Bull. Deep 6. Also 89 Deep 6. Oh, also 92 and 93 Wild Bull. 84 Ripcord. The figure has orangey hair, but blonde hair in the Marvel Comics. Thunder. Hey, Rob, didn't you have Thunder?
Yeah, Thunder. Thunder was one of them.
Crankcase. Outback, also 88 and 93 Outback, but not Tiger Force Outback. Taurus. Oh, yeah, I suppose the beard. Yeah,
Taurus.
Charbroil. Yes, Charbroil, and he was even in this episode. Frostbite. Dyed his hair from dark brown to bright red. Yes, that's correct. And also Tiger Force Frostbite also has like bright red hair, if memory serves. Dogfight. Long Range. 91 Dusty. Was he always a ginger? We don't know because he has I think the Hemlock.
Yeah.
Havelock. Steven's like face palm, and then he's like, "Yes, you got it." 92 Ace. How you would categorize 83 and 90? How would you categorize 83 and 93 Ace figures? I don't know, but Ace. A 92 Big Bear. 92 and 93 Cutter. Dyed his hair from light brown to bright red. So there we go, guys. That's 18. And if you count in all the additional years, that's quite a bit more because maths, I don't do maths.
That's 18
so here's the question.
Different redheads.
That's 18 different redheads. So here's the question. Why are there so many Ginger Joes? Do gingers possess some extra inborn athleticism that makes them super badasses and natural targets for Spec Ops recruitment? Or is it just that orange hair is an easy way to create some color interest in otherwise muted army figures? I don't think it has anything to do with the color at all.
No.
Of course, I'm going to mention a friend of mine named Mike Ellefson. It's a mutual friend of Steve's and myself. Actually, he's a friend of Steve's brother. And Mike, anyway, I don't want to go into the whole thing. Mike Ellefson's brother's friends with Steve's brother. I don't know. It's the whole thing. Anyway, doesn't matter. Mike is a redhead gent, and he is one of the fittest, most athletic people I know that hasn't been trained by ninjas. And he's a biokineticist, and he's an incredibly great a biokineticist as well. And yeah, he's all about that sports. And Mike's got a real like sort of sporty instinct. So maybe I don't know. Maybe he's onto something there. I don't
So
know.
based off your anecdotal evidence,
My
redheads
son,
really
yeah,
are just better than anyone else.
yeah, exactly. It's just that's super scientific. Rob says anecdotal. That's just another word for science. You know. um, and yeah, but listen, I think in all fairness, they probably just did it for a little bit of color variation. You know,
But
maybe
also
there was somebody.
Zartan, Saran, and Xandar, as Mark says, I mean, they're probably redheads too. I mean, they are redheads.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
totally.
So
Yeah,
that's yeah. I
exactly.
think I mean he'd only count as the GI Joes. So actually,
Yeah.
there's a lot of redheads in the GI Joe universe.
So yeah, with that, and also, guys, it's a cool one in that, and it's the last thing I get to share before I get out the door. I know everybody's like, "Oh God, Paul, seriously, dude, enough." uh, just a special shout out in alphabetical order to Brian Transfixed Nichols. Happy birthday, dude! And we hope it was a great one the other day. And this is your
Happy
Bergforce birthday.
birthday to
Happy
you.
birthday. We did reach out, or I did reach out to see if he could be on the episode. Sadly, the timing was just a bit hectic because we weren't sure what was happening with load shedding schedules because they have changed dramatically. And I didn't want to get somebody to be booked in and then Rob couldn't make the show. So, yeah. So I did message him only a couple of hours ago to see if he could make it. And sadly, I don't think he could. But that's fine. We can always make a gap for you in a future one, or we can submit a topic idea. Also, a huge happy birthday to Gary Viola. Gary V.
Woo!
Dude, Gary has been with the show for a very, very long time and a huge supporter of GI Joburg and a huge supporter of GI Joburg's toy collections as well. Thank you, Gary. You've definitely made this journey awesome. And we hope your next trip around the sun is an amazing one. And as always, filled with great health, all the love and happiness, and lots of opportunity. And that's for both of our Bergforce members. Sadly, Gary had an appointment with Santa today, and so he couldn't join us. But we do want to get him on the show, definitely.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So happy
and
birthday,
wish him
Gary.
many red-headed GI Joes.
Yes, totally. There we go. And he was also the inspiration for the earlier what do you want Santa to sneak under your Christmas tree. That said, guys, thank you so much for another awesome episode. Thank you, Rob, for another awesome episode.
Yeah,
we missed you,
I'm
Steve.
so happy to join you.
We
Stephen,
hope you're having fun
one.
and had a manus. And it's actually meant to be Hermanus, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
but we're just being
Adam Anus.
Adam Anus. And yeah, here's hoping the next one's going to be great too. And that's Paul and Rob jumping out the door.
Oh, I'm going first.
Berg, 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 Berg,